Hello and welcome to the SC Playbook podcast out of NRL Supercoach round 27, proudly brought to you by Mortgage Choice SCW. I'm your host, Tim Williams, and we've arrived at the final round of the NRL Supercoach season. We're here to try and help find the overall winner, because in 1 week's time, there'll be a new overall champion crowned in the race, taking over first spot. Here to do it with me, as always, the SC Spy. Spy?
Boys, how are we?
Good, mate. What's news?
What's news? Well, let's just say Royce Hunt didn't go quite as well as Reece Walsh last weekend. But outside of that, pretty good.
Yeah. Royce Hunt, he's caused a few headaches this year, that bloke, hasn't he, in terms of AEs. But look, he got your points when a lot of your other players didn't.
Yeah. I actually went all right last weekend. I had a look at the numbers. So I was 800th after heading into the weekend in a bit of a free fall, as we knew. And obviously not having any trades left, I couldn't bring Walshy in, which was a shame. It's fun to watch, though. So I had to play Royce Hunt. If I would have had that one trade, which we'll get to in a minute, I was dead on par for the rest of the weekend. I wouldn't have removed like a single rank. Would have been bang on 800 still. So, yeah, it shows what one trade can do, 1,000 spots in 1 weekend. Yeah,
let that be a lesson to all, saving one trade for later on in the piece. Just use Spy as an example. Reece Walsh against Royce Hunt.
Yep. 1,000, more than doubled my rank in the wrong direction there. Quite interesting. But the boys stepped up. I was actually pretty proud of them. They knew they were down and out, and they just held on for dear life. Jaden Campbell, late. He was on about 40. I ended up captaining him just to try and chase some points.
Did you?
He was on like 38 with 20 to go, and he went, well, late, so that was good. But anyway, the important thing's I'm still in front of Clementine by 300, so that's all right.
The big one. Desi Creek, former champion, back on the panel. How are you, mate?
I'm good. Yeah, it hasn't been my year for Supercoach. I think it's the first time I've lost to both you boys in quite some time.
What, 2 years?
Has it been? Nah. Yeah, no, it just hasn't gone my way. I've been ranked about the same all year. Just been no movement up or down. Ranked around 3,000, 4,000 all year.
What are you now? Still about that 3,000, 4,000?
Yeah, I'm still about 3,800, something like that. I scored 1,400 last week, so I moved about 300 spots. Probably the most I've moved in ages, even though I scored about par for the round. But yeah, I just haven't played well. It's as simple as that. We'll get into a bit more later about what happened, but just wasn't reading it right.
Yep. Remarkable how consistent your rank's been with sort of any major movement either way. Also with us, as always, Matty the Waterboy. Matty the Waterboy, he's come home with a wet sail.
Yeah, it's been a good couple of weeks. I hit 1,500 for the first time on the weekend, and I'm hoping to, because my rank last year was like somewhere in the 30,000. So I want to get inside that top 10,000 this year, and that's looking very, very achievable. I still have to jump about 650 spots this last week. So, yeah, let's hope.
Well, rumour has it, Matty, that you're firming for your first ever promotion into the SC Playbook Major In-House League. Look, rookie experience hasn't allowed you to debut, but with the form you're showing this year, you could be in next year, mate. You've been good.
Yeah, I've heard those rumours, and I'm very delighted about them. I hope they're true. I think if I do increase those 650 spots, I reckon I'm an absolute shoo-in.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be the key to doing it. Or the Cream of Stallions, 1,613 points. Also finishing with a wet sail, which has been nice, especially coincided with head-to-head finals. So took out a couple of titles there over the course of the weekend with around 26 grand finals, including the SC Playbook In-House League. Knocked off Nick Moon, who was getting a bit chirpy as well. So happy to have done that and into 650th overall. Played a bit of fullback roulette, Spy. One of your... A term you coined a while back, Reece Walsh, in for Dylan Edwards, and gave him the C, and happy days. So, yeah, moving well. Good numbers this week. Team list Tuesday, we'll get to that shortly, but not too bad for people. We'll get to that in a minute. On today's show, Team list Tuesday, Supercoach pointers, the Raiders. They have mass rested. It's not all bad news, though, across the NRL, with a lot of teams putting out full-strength sides. Topic for today's show, it'll be head-to-head grand final week for a few super coaches out there that have it in round 27. But essentially, it'll be for those in the overall race trying to get the best rank that you can. And on with trades left, we'll go game by game, looking at the best matchups to target with your last trade or two if you do have a few in the bank. Probably one of my favourite parts of the season in the back end. We're going to look back on 2026 at what we learned. Then we'll drop our round 27 trade and skipper plans, myself and Desi, with a trade in the bank and plenty of good skipper options to go with. We will be back for NRL Supercoach finals, which kicks off this year, which is very, very exciting. So it'll be a lot of the same content with our podcast, still rolling out the articles, still rolling out subscriber content and all that good stuff throughout the NRL finals, along with a few new additions to the network coming in soon. Unlimited league code for the SC Playbook finals as well is 729134. We'll be throwing up $500 in cash to whoever takes out that league. If a non-subscriber wins it, it'll be $250 to the winner and $250 to the highest ranked subscriber, $500 if it's a subscriber. And of course, SC Playbook NFL. It is here. It's the newest branch covering the NFL content for the upcoming season starting on Friday morning, along with, of course, our EPL content. New team, same content. The first podcast will be out tonight. If you're listening to this on Tuesday night, it'll be out in the next hour or so as we get that one up, recorded live from the Caxton Hotel. If you're familiar with Bloody Brilliant Beers, one of the best podcasts and pages around, Clutchy, he'll be on deck for that one, along with a bumper panel. So check that one out if you're into NFL Supercoach. Tons of content is already up on site at scplaybook.com.au. An important one though, guys, with the cluster of all this content across SC Playbook at the moment, NFL, EPL, NRL Cricket, they've all got their own YouTube channel and social media channels as well, along with podcasting channels, Apple and Spotify. So they will be going on exclusively onto those channels. So go give them a follow on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all that good stuff. Now, Unlimited League leader. Spy, what do you got?
So NFL, just getting excited actually.
Yeah. Sort
of dipped my toe in last year and it's just really good timing.
Yeah.
It's right as the footy ends, NRL. I'm getting excited to have a little crack. I've got a few people on deck I'm just having to chat to just to get my cheapies right because I'm sort of okay with the guns after last year, but no idea who the cheapies are. So I'll be relying on a few blokes in the potty for that, but coming in fired up for the NFL should be good fun.
For the EPL pod, look, it's a stack panel. We've got Matty Yerman, who is a former Socceroo, still plays in the A-League. Daniel Garb, who is on it as well. Garby is Australia's Ballon d'Or judge.
Yeah, that's
He
insane.
gives the vote.
That's insane.
Yeah, so it's a bumper panel, and the one coming out of the NFL, out of Brisbane, out of the Caxton, that'll be not bad as well. So go and check out all that and get involved with the off-season Supercoach content. Our Unlimited League leader, $1,000 up for grabs to the winner of this one, Baby Dales, coached by Matt. He's jumped into top spot. He's second overall, so we don't have top spot yet. Ooh. We've got 8 of the top 10 and 16 of the top 20, but not first. So we want to bring that one home.
Come on.
As I said, $1,000 up for grabs. Manly _ Premiers, coached by Corey. He topped the week with 1,794 points. Boys, team list Tuesday. A big one at the Broncos. Gamat Shibasaki on the extended bench. Dean Mariner at centre. Jesse Arthur's wing. Matty, what did you say it was? Disciplinary?
Yes, there was a... not an incident, but I think he had a big Sunday and came to training on Monday a bit worse for wear. So, yeah, he's been stood down for this week.
And look, we all have big Sundays, but when you're a pro athlete and your team needs to win to make top 4 the following week, probably time and place.
Well, I had a big Sunday this week, but I didn't have to go to training on Monday.
You turned up, though.
I did turn up.
Yeah.
I did turn up.
If you miss the top 10K, though, I'm sorry to say it, but it's on you, Matty.
That is a great point. I will have to step down.
Yep.
On all reports, Shibasaki did turn up to training, but yeah, so he is on the extended bench as it stands. A big one by the Melbourne Storm. Essentially all their players named, minus Stefano Udakamanu and Sean Bloor. Significant for so many reasons. Firstly, Reece Walsh, the man of the moment in Supercoach. It becomes a lot tougher matchup there than if they did decide to rest other players who played through last week. It becomes not a big game for the Storm in terms of ladder position, but in terms of a bellyache side who are coming off a bad performance, leading into the finals with an opportunity to help or make essentially the Broncos miss the top 4, tough game.
And a cracker. Looking forward to it.
Yes.
As a non-Walshy boy, thank goodness. He could still score well. Might have been mentioned on some other podcasts, but I just love how he's getting his head through the line now. Not just relying on his ball playing ability and speed. He's going in and through the line. This has opened up Reece Walsh's game 200%. Like, he's just going to be unstoppable with his confidence and just willingness to go into contact. It was honestly like the Cowboys were under 12 side last weekend. They did a few good things. They took that nice intercept, Sammy Valemay, but That was one of the great performances. It was special, eh?
He's stringing together what we've known Reece Walsh has been capable of all along, because he's always had these performances a bit more scattered, but to be stringing them together for a month or 5 weeks or so in a row, it's frightening.
So pumped for finals footy as well. It's going to be good. But in terms of the game itself, I still think he probably score all right, but it's a bloody good test for him this weekend because it won't get much tougher than a bellyache fired up side heading into finals footy.
At the Manly Warringah Seagulls, Tolotau Kola is out with a knee injury. Clayton Faolalo is at centre. At the Warriors, Wade Egan is out. Sam Healy will start at hooker. The Roosters, Sammy Walker returns from a head knock. At halfback, Sandon Smith, drops to the extended bench. At the Bunnies, no Latrell Mitchell, but Jack Whiten and Cam Murray come back into a all of a sudden quite good-looking Rabbitohs outfit fresh off the bye. At the Penrith Panthers, all their players have returned from that freshen up, minus Brian To'o and Liam Martin. At the Titans, Count O'Kinney starts at fullback. AJ Brimson moves to centre alongside former Wallaby Carter Gordon. Had some health issues earlier in the year. I think issues maybe with his back or spine or something. So awesome to see. It'd be good to have a look at Carter Gordon this week. At the Tigers, 18-year-old Himasi Makasini debuts on the wing. A bit of a prodigy there. So excited to see him, Spike.
Excited for him, but what I was going to mention on Keanu Kinney, awesome to get a full game at fullback for him, but can the Supercoach gods and organisers please not put him at like 400k next year and everyone just, because he'll be 100% owned.
Yeah.
I want him to be at a price that you go, is he worth going in over, Dylan Edwards, Tedesco and stuff? Because there's a few guys popping up for next season off injured years. We don't all just want to start with the same 8 blokes. Like, there want to be decisions made. So I'd love to see them use some common sense around that.
I think they do have some discretion, and including around guys like Tommy Turbo and Latrell Mitchell, around the whole centre thing when they've played centre coming back from injuries, where they can use discretion and not do it. So
because this was my favourite year, I reckon, in terms of variety of sides. It got a bit more similar late on in the year, which tends to happen. But the first pre-Origin, there was like playing against different options and trying to decide who to bring in. Really enjoyable, so I don't want to lose that aspect of things.
Fullback would be great. Pardon me, and all sorts. Fullback will be great next year, round 1, Desi, if you're sitting there and you've got an open slather of fit fullbacks to pick round 1.
Yeah, well, it was kind of like that this year as well, but then we lost Latrell in round 1.
We did too, you're right. So we had to make those decisions.
Yeah, it made it a bit easier, actually, losing Trell, because I was going to get him, and then I didn't end up getting him. But yeah, there's probably 4 or 5 guys now that you have to fit into 2 or 3 spots.
It's very exciting.
It is. It's very exciting going into 2026. At the Doggies, Jacob Kiraz is out, Anari Tuala on the wing. Otherwise, they are at full strength as it stands. At the Sharkies, Jesse Ramian back at centre. Mwene Hiroti on the extended bench. The Raiders, they're the big one, boys. Desi, Ethan Strange, Hudson Young, Joe Tarpany, Zach Hosking, Tom Starling, Kyle Weeks. All of those players are out amongst others. They're the sort of highest owned Supercoach players. Big Red, Corey Horsburgh, is the one in for them. Big Red hasn't done enough to get a week off, apparently, but
the skip.
Yeah.
Coming off a try. First try of the season.
You'd be fired up.
Yeah, but big ramifications for Supercoach.
Yeah. I think a lot of people would own probably still Starling, Hosking, Tarpany and Hudson. I've kind of managed to avoid most of it. I've just got Hutto there. But yeah, it's going to be... It'll be big if you stacked up on Raiders because they've all scored really well this year. They're all averaging, pretty well. So, yeah, unfortunately, we're losing them all, but we kind of figured it was going to come at some stage. So, I mean, you could plan for it, I guess. Some people would have planned for it, maybe.
It is what it is. Look, who had penciled in from a Supercoach or NRL perspective the Raiders having the minor premiership sewn up with a round to go? So probably not many.
Nobody.
All right, boys, what we're going to do now for our first topic of the show, we're going to go through each game basically off the bat, just say whether or not it's a game to target for final trades and also things like sit v starts as well. For those, the overall race, as I mentioned, there will be a few grand finals out there set for round 27, drafties as well. And, we won't take too much time on it, but who are the best trading targets of the week? In the first match of the round, the Broncos and the Storm by 7:50 p.m. on Thursday night in Brizzy. We've just sort of touched on it before, but, with the Storm going full strength, it just looks like a match to avoid for me in terms of trades and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, nothing I'd target massively. In saying that, 27 degrees in Brisbane, Suncorp, dry track. We know there's always a chance for a lot of points, but in terms of guys I'd specifically want to bring in, not so much. Obviously, if you own them, happy days and you play them. No dramas there, but... no standout targets where I go, well, he's a difference maker for this round.
And Desi, I mean, I'll get your thoughts on it as well, but even things like there are so many great matchups to target and VCs and Cs and that sort of stuff. Like, I'll potentially look to sit someone like Josiah Karapani. He does come up against the weaker edge of the Storm, so I don't mind it, but it's not ideal. Reece Walsh is a captaincy player. I think it's a lot better. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I mean, it really is getting hard to ignore Walsh. I mean, I've still got a trade in hand. I was tempted to use it last week on Walsh, but I'd already lost my head-to-head, so I just held the trade to have a bit of fun on the last round. But yeah, I still think he's one of the stronger trade-ins. 3 150s in a row. You can't overlook that. Even against Melbourne, they got smashed 40-0 in the second half last week. You'd think they'd be bouncing back this week, but who knows?
Can we all give a Reece Walsh prediction for this weekend?
He's not going to be drinking any more toilet water.
That is not even. I know.
Clean toilet water. He was all right.
Yeah, assuming the bloke that installed it into a whiz, that's just not. You don't risk that. That's
when
madness.
you pump out 3 150s on the trot, you do what you want. You do, Reece Walsh.
He's pretty funny. I reckon he'll get 83.
Yeah, Desi,
It
what do you
sounds about
reckon?
right. I reckon maybe 93.
I'll go 78.
All right, there we go. If anyone gets bang on next weekend, schooner from the other two people. If we're bang on,
Sounds
All right.
outstanding.
yep, sounds.
Can we just not do closest to, or does it have to be bang on?
No, if you want, but I'm not. I'm
Closest
changing-
to should be 2 schooners. Sorry, bang on should be 2 schooners.
Yep.
Closest
Yeah,
to could be
But
one.
then we got to
bang on.
start wasting podcast time because I'm bang in the middle and I can't get closer than you two, so I'd have to change my.
Look,
punt.
you're already whinging, Desi. You should have chosen something better.
I went first.
Well, that was your
No,
problem.
bang on one schooner. That's what we're doing.
Honestly. All right. Seagulls and Warriors. Friday, 6 p.m. at Brookie Oval. Boys, not a bad matchup to target in my eyes. Probably more for the Seagulls. It's an interesting one in terms of the Warriors. I don't know if they'd want to rest anyway because their form hasn't been great, but if the Broncos win, that will mean that the Warriors can't finish in the top 4. That could see them rest players. It's a funny one, though, because they have to do their 24-hour cutoffs at Thursday at 6 p.m. They won't know about that
gonna be
Broncos
hard.
result. Yeah, so the Warriors, we don't know. They won't be able to mass rest. I reckon they're probably just say, look, boys, we need a good performance going into finals regardless of that top 4 spot. Cherry Evans, farewell game from Manly. Spy, I don't mind targeting Manly players in this. I think there are better matchups. It is one where, again, the Warriors will put out a decent side. Regardless of the attitude they go in with, if they can make the top 4, they're just going to play a different brand of footy than they are if it means nothing. It's as simple as that in my eyes. So
100%.
If the Warriors can't make top 4, I think good game to target for Manly players. If Warriors can make the 4, I'll probably look elsewhere.
Tell you what, I'll be totally honest here. Every Manly game I say this, but I have no idea what's going to happen. And it's not just because of Manly who, look, they're back at home. There's probably some form at home. Cherry's farewell. But Warriors, I just don't know where they're at. We know there can be a good defensive side, but are they out of juice? Do they rest guys, as you mentioned? Really hard one to figure out. Desi, Manly, do they put a score on for Cherry's farewell?
They might. Who knows? I mean, if there was a game to bring in Cherry, I mean, I'm going to do it. I'm bringing MDCE. I'm paying homage to the man.
I like it.
The great man. He was a part of my 2019 winning squad, so
You have to do it.
I'm sending him out in style with that last trade. I mean, he scored about 280 over the last 2 weeks. So is Turbo. They've been the second and third highest scoring players over the last 2 weeks, minus with Walsh being the first. So it's not like a completely insane play. He's got the goal kicking. I mean, Turbo he's looking prime. He was so close to getting 150 again last week. Got disallowed a try, which looked like a try to me, and then the Saab one as well, where he flicked it out the back and Saab didn't ground it. So he was missing about 50 points. So yeah, he's also a very good matchup. It's between him and Cherry. I've already got Turbo, but I'd probably bring in Turbo out of those two if I didn't have either of them. But yeah, I still think it's Warriors they're not looking ideal, but who knows with Manly? I thought they'd show up against the Tigers 3 weeks ago to keep their finals hopes alive, and they just didn't. So they could lose 20-0 for all we know.
Yeah, I think Tom Trbojevic, great trading regardless, but if the Warriors aren't playing for top 4, I think, really big play. Also, the Warriors could rest, even if it's a couple of players with niggles, if depending how that Broncos result goes. Ches, I don't mind it. I think there's better. But, you can see a nice farewell for Manly and the boys getting
Don't get
it.
me wrong, I'm not advising getting Cherry, but in your case, I think it's perfect. It's a bit of respect.
Yeah, yours is nice.
He's taking you to the
boy.
title in 2019, so you got to do it. As a Lehigh Hopewadi owner, I don't know if he's going to score 130 or 25 on Friday. No idea. Hopefully the higher.
Roosters and Rabbitohs Friday, 8 p.m. at Allianz Stadium. This is one, boys, I had probably penciled in about 5 weeks ago as a field day for James Tedesco, as a potential Sam Walker trade-in. The Bunnies all of a sudden putting up a pretty strong side, one of their better sides in a fair while. Matty alluded to it pre-show, but a bench of Brandon Smith, Cody Walker and Cameron Murray, not too shabby. So, Spy, I think there will be enough points in it. I think the Roosters, like someone like James Tedesco, will still be a good captaincy option, but all of a sudden, with the Bunnies with an opportunity to keep their arch rivals out of finals footy, it's now become one that I probably won't be targeting.
Yeah, and I think even if you look at the Roosters, the blokes that we want to play, a lot of us probably already own Tedesco, Nwanga Tuwase, Dan Tupou. Obviously you're going to play them. Would I then target someone to bring them in? Look, in saying that, if I didn't own James Tedesco, I still think he's probably not far off the number one target of the weekend. It's going to be an interesting match. One of my favourite matches of the season, this one. And I was talking to Matty before. We was talking about how round 27, it's always on. So some years it doesn't necessarily matter for a neutral fan. But this year, the Bunnies being able to knock the Chooks out of the finals, potentially, is massive. What a storyline. So it should be good.
Matty, what's been the best ever Roosters and Rabbitohs round 27 like? Something on the line. Like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So 2013 and 2014, but mostly 2013 was for the minor premiership.
Yeah.
And I think it was the largest home and away season crowd attendance until it was broken this year by the Dogs. Dogs South Good Friday. But yeah, it was Inglis versus Sonny Bill. The game started with Inglis pretty much shoving off Sonny Bill and scoring a great try. And then that just switched a flick for Sonny Bill, who just killed it the rest of the game. The Roosters ended up winning 2013. It was. I mean, the result sucked for me, but it was a bloody awesome spectacle.
Epic atmosphere. Desi, how do you feel about this one? One to target or avoid?
I mean, yeah, I'm still eyeing up Marky Mark. He's tripled me a bit, especially in head-to-head final last week. He just pulled 4 tries out of nowhere.
That must have hurt.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have been on
and
many at
Preston
half
as
time.
well. My opponent had 7 tries between 2 plays. I was done. I was done by Friday night. That's why
rough.
I just held the trade. I waved the white flag a bit there. But yeah, I don't know. Marky Mark, will he score 4 more tries against the Bunnies? It's hard to see it happening. But he's such a freak. Like he's just freaky at like stepping his man, beating him on the outside,
amazing,
putting it down in the corner. I don't think we've ever seen anyone with that sort of attacking prowess from like 5 meters out, with even like 4 or 5 defenders swarming on him. He somehow seems to like offload it back in to the center, or Teddy, super good at that flick pass.
You know something's coming. You're just like, what's about to happen?
I'll tell you what, Supercoach wise, Sammy Walker and him just don't mingle. Like, Sammy just so dominant on that left edge and, going towards Tupu. There was the one game against the Dolphins where Marky Mark, he scored a hat-trick. They were nearly all off kicks from memory and he scored well, but the Roosters put 60 on, like as if he's not going to score well. Like, he was out last week, Sammy Walker, goes nuts and scores 4 tries. Like, it could change in the future, but as it stands, not a thing. So, yeah, look, I wouldn't be targeting anyone. As Spy said, maybe James Tedesco if you don't own, but I think most probably do, as is. Anyway, Dragons, Panthers, boys, 3 p.m. Saturday at Wynn Stadium in Wollongong. Panthers back to near enough full strength. Dragons, not a bad side on deck, but plenty out still. Spy, outstanding matchup to target for me. I thought the Dragons were going to show a bit more than they did last week against Manly off the back of that, belting at the hands of the Rabbitohs. They've conceded, I think, 40 points in 2 weeks. Dragons, their season's done. This means nothing. Penrith Panthers, full strength, off a rest. Good match to target.
Yeah, Tommy Jenkins, I reckon.
Yeah.
Could have a little crack at Tommy Jenkins, left wing. I don't mind Alamotti because he's a hell of a player, but prefer the left winger in this one. Blaze Talangi, Case of McLean's killing it, so if you had a trade or two, it could do worse than having a crack at a couple of Panthers outside backs or the 5'8 there. Could be an interesting match just to see again. We don't know Saints going to show a bit of ticker? I don't know.
They've got it in them. Yeah. We know they do, but 2 awful performances on the trot. That has me a little bit worried.
I wonder how many of them as well. Like, Flano's still coaching next year. You've got to put your name up in lights a bit with this last game of the year and say, mate, I want my spot next year. Because if you play ordinary again, I know he's going to remember it. So, yeah, interesting psychology around all that. But either way, I think Penrith, fresh, far and away, they'll be a good team to target.
I just think Penrith, like they had those big performances in a row against Melbourne and Canberra and that took a lot out of them. They've had their rest. I just think they go now, boys, go time. Let's win a 5th comp.
Oh, Dylan Edwards is the other one.
Yeah.
I'm a bit stoked about this, providing they don't rest him late. He's about 30% ownership up top there at the moment. I didn't realise.
Yeah, it's true.
That's exciting.
Desi, thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Edwards could go ballistic in this one. Cleary is the obvious captain for the week. He's just due another 150. And, yeah, I think he's primed to get it against the Dragons. They kind of... I thought they'd put up a better fight against Manly as well, because Manly have only won 1 from the last 9 games at Cogra. And it felt like they were going to come back into it when it was about 18 all or something. They'd scored 2 tries off kicks. And then, yeah, they kind of capitulated. If they do that against Penrith, they'll put 50 on them in one half. If they show no mercy.
I think Dylan Edwards, outstanding option this week. A bit like you, Spy. I don't mind that left edge of the Penrith Panthers, Jenkins or McLean, if you wanted to get a little bit weird and going at, in particular, the Tyrell Sloan edge. I think that's where the Panthers are going to go at. And I'll let this one sit with you while we get through the rest of the games, boys, but I'm going to ask you at the end, fullbacks. There's so many great matchups for fullbacks this week. If you've got one trade, who's your target there? Asking for a bloke who will be making a move there this week. Moving forward now, though, to Saturday 5:30, Titans and Tigers. Another decent one to match. Target Spy. The Titans, few players on deck, a few new combinations there. Obviously, Brimson and Carter Gordon in the centres. Farewell in Desi Hasler. Farewell in Kieran Foran. Again, I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game.
Definitely be points. As to who to target, it's hard. Got that new spine together back. Keanu Kinney, my boy. Might have to get him on the list next year if I start with him. He'd be fun to own this weekend. Tigers have at times done a reasonable job on fullbacks this year. But you nearly have about 35 runs and bust some tackles, so it just depends if you can find some space. So
I think we'll be looking at another, what was it? I think like the Titans and Dolphins 36-30 or something. I think we could be looking at a similar scoreline, Desi.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I'll go against that. I reckon it's going to be decent amount, but Tigers are better defence than the Dolphins, and they're not as good attack as the Dolphins. So that leads me to believe, I don't know, I reckon it won't be as outrageous as people think, but still not a bad match for, if you've got
Both
players
teams
in
have nothing to play for. They're going to throw the ball around. They'll throw it around. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if the Titans played really well in this one to send Des off. Kinney's a freak at fullback. I mean, I brought him in last year for a crazy pod play and he went ballistic. So we know he's got the ceiling as well. He can score about 160 on his day. Buller, he's been playing well as well. So it wouldn't surprise me to see both fullbacks ton up in this one. Yeah,
2 teams where it can just be hard to gauge the right person. Taylor May's good. I don't know if you'd use a final trade on him with some probably better options, but Taylor May is off a bit of a downer week, although he updated and went all right, Taylor May against the Raiders. But, a good matchup as well this week. I think he could be in for a big day out against the Titans. Edges, Doggies and Sharks. Boys, 7:35 p.m. on Saturday evening at Accor Stadium. Doggies have named a near full-strength side. Sharks have done similar. We may still get a couple of restings come game time. It wouldn't shock me, especially with the Doggies. But there's just way better matchups to target, right?
I haven't been impressed by either team in the last couple of weeks. I think they're both kind of... I hope that they both show up in the finals, but it just seems like they're both going to get knocked out instantly. They're the 2 teams that you're like, well, they could get bundled straight out in straight sets. There's just not that much there. Preston, obviously, the standout for the Dogs. But yeah, there's not much else you'd be targeting. Mulatalo playing really well as well, but I don't think he's going to score a hat trick against the Dogs defense there.
Hard avoid on this one, boys.
Yep.
It's not one I'd target. As a footy fan, looking forward to it because there might be Sharks could be playing for top 4 position, and Desi, I actually quite liked the Doggies 2 weeks ago against it was Melbourne down at Amy Park, nearly knocked them off. Could have been a little turning point heading into finals, so interested to see where they're at. It'd be nice to see them do well. I think there'd be a serious vibe around Sydney if
It would be
they
nice
go
to see
deep in
them
the
do well,
finals.
yeah.
So we'll see what they got in them. But yeah, good game of footy, but not one for Supercoach.
One of the best games of the week to target, the Dolphins and the Raiders, 2 p.m. on Sunday. Dolphins, well, injuries aside, near enough full strength this week in terms of what they've named. I said Herbie Farnworth on the reserve list. I think how it'll work out, if the Dolphins are still alive, if the Roosters lose to the Bunnies, Herbie plays. If he doesn't, if the Roosters win, it sounds like they probably won't risk Herbie Farnworth. Shout out at the Canberra Raiders to Manai Watiri. My last full season of NRL was in one of the back years of COVID. We played at the mighty Como Crocodiles, and Manai and I played in the halves together in that game. He was 5'8", I was half, and absolute ripper kid. He's been killing it in New South Wales Cup for the Raiders. He's playing every bloody position under the sun. But yeah, Manai gets a crack this weekend off the bench, so keen to see what he can do, but hopefully he kills it. Unfortunately, he comes up against a very strong Dolphins outfit in terms of, comparatively speaking, Spy, good game to target.
Certainly is for the Finns. Very, very young Raiders outfit. Herbie's interesting because you might be asking this question shortly. If you've got a trade up the sleeve, it's a fantastic trade to make, but he's no certainty to play either. Even if they're even if they're playing for a top 8 berth, they made us say, we're not quite sure on you. We can win without you. Let's get you ready for finals footy. So that makes it really tricky.
It's a good point. This Dolphins side, in no world, should be losing to the Raiders. If they're a little bit cautious of that hamstring, with what they've named, they should not be losing.
They have to be winning this match, 100%. So it's an issue. And in terms of the rest of the Dolphins, my pot of the week in Spy Talk last week was Trey Fuller. And he delivered in that absolute point fest. Love him, eh? Just any little fullback that goes hard through the line, over the advantage line, gets a tick in my eyes. But yeah, he could go well again. They all could. Who would you go for? I love, is it Nafahu? On the wing as well.
Yeah.
He gets...
They always go left.
Left wing for Dolphins.
They
Where
always
else would
go
you want
left.
to be? It would have been nice if I had like 400 trades last weekend. I could use them all. I would have used them all on the Dolphins last weekend. And it looked like it was going to be about 90-0 early, and then it got reeled back. But yeah, that left edge plus Trey Fuller is pretty good. But I'd be a little bit hesitant waiting until this long in the weekend, on Herbie.
Even with Herbie, the fact that he hasn't come back yet and that it sounds like they'll probably make a decision based on result,
40 minutes.
there's obviously, just concerned about the hamstring.
Could go, but even, let's just say they're up 20-0 at half time.
You just
Surely
take him
he's
off.
not playing 80.
Yeah.
We say that a lot, but this would be the one time
Yeah.
get off the field,
Yeah.
Herbie. We need you.
Desi?
Yeah, I mean, I own Azarko. He's been catching a cold on that
Oof,
right
he
wing.
has. The week.
He has.
Yeah, this could be the week though.
He'd be averaging 100 if he was on that left wing.
It's insane. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I own JMK as well. He's been playing really well, but he just always seems to pick the ball up and send it left, straight off to play the ball. I don't know what it is, but he likes going left. I mean, that's where all their attack goes.
I think a lot of what it is, mate, could be very wrong in saying this, but Isaiah Katoa, as good as I've seen, he gets the Joey comparisons all the time, at being that first receiver and just tying in defenders, making them turn in heaps and creating that space out the back. He hits Cody Nikarima, who's the 5'8", so it's always him going to left, hitting the 5'8", on the 5'8's edge, which is on the left.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, they spread it very quick. They do it well.
If Isaiah Katoa was a left edge station player, I think you'd see the right edge do a lot more damage, and then it'd be an Asako. Yeah, so I'm a bit with Spy in this one. I think Trey Fuller is probably the pick of them. Honestly, it sounds ridiculous to all these great options, but if you want to target the matchup, Tavita Nafahu, he's a great one as well. Hamiso Tabuai-Fido, but look, if you've got one trade, I think Trey Fuller is probably the play in this game. Eels and Knights to round it out, 4:05pm, Combank Stadium on Sunday. Should be a good Eels win, but they don't have a lot of overly enticing Supercoach prospects. The Knights, final game for Adam O'Brien. Do they get up for it a little bit more than they have been? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Desi, probably one that I'll be avoiding, but the Eels could put a score on, but I think there's better matchups.
Yeah, I think everyone pretty much owns Lomax by now. So, I mean, if you don't, this would be a game that you could target him. If you for some reason
You'd
don't
be
have
scared
him.
not having Lomax.
Yeah, he's probably almost the number one target of the week if you didn't own him. I'd almost put him above Tedesco.
Hasn't scored in 4 of his last 5.
Yeah, so he's due.
He's due.
He's due. But yeah, not much else there. Yeah, Brown, Moses, they've been kind of Supercoach irrelevant this year.
Spy, anything to add?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I reckon Lomax is a captaincy shout this weekend.
Yeah.
Have a crack at him for those who want to just have a bit of a swing.
Came up against Marju and Best, but yeah. Like the Eels could come out and put 50 on the night here.
What's he? Right wing, yep. Yeah, he could. And the other one, just a quick shout out to Jermaine McEwen. When I needed him most last weekend, he played freaking well and he based me 60.
Did he?
Forever in my heart.
JM.
Because, I needed him and he played bloody well.
The joys of Supercoach.
Good player, by the way. He's going to be handy.
All righty, boys. Paddy Johnson, our little mate from Mortgage Choice SCW. He spent Saturday morning at Vinnie's shopping for a new cabinet. And why is that, you ask? They had the Mortgage Choice National Awards the other night. Cleaned up 5 awards at it. So he's absolutely flying. Needed a wheelbarrow to cart him out. The first of the night was the Marketing Award, Spy. So he owes me a case for that one, for all the great marketing he's done via SC Playbook.
He owes me a couple because I do the best promos for him.
He does owe you a couple. He's been very thankful for your great plugs that you give. But
even though he changed my life with advice, Oh, there's another plug.
That
It just happens naturally.
Yeah. The following night, the Friday night, was the annual Mortgage Brokers Awards. He was shortlisted top 10 in the country for that one. Didn't get the chocolates, but a huge honour nonetheless. But yeah, essentially evidence that not only can he gibber about the Eagles, but he's very bloody good at what he does.
Good on him.
Yes. So well deserved. He's a cracking fella. So guys, if you are looking to get into your first home, refinance, chase a loan, or whatever it might be, reach out to Paddy and his team. As well, if you do tune out from the podcast across NRL Supercoach finals and back end of the year, reach out at any time and mention them. If you do, it'll save you $129. It'll be a free consultation. Flick the team a message on Instagram at mortgagechoice_SCW or give them a buzz on 02 9521 1611. Doesn't matter where in Australia you are based. Now, boys, what we'll do is, because we've been talking about all that sort of stuff and then game by game, let's go quickly through our trade and skip plans now. Then we'll do what we learned from 2026. I'll start the trade plan. Spy, you're out.
Just pondering my trade options. Not sure yet. I'll get back to you.
Your 2026 round 2 trade options.
Yeah, I actually am.
Desi, but what I will throw to you, Spy.
Yep.
Let's say you've got one trade this week. You've got a blank slate. Who are you bringing in? And I think the big one will be for people out there, fullback, because so many Scott Drinkwater owners, and I think that'll probably be the spot.
But you can flex him, so it could be anyone in the whole comp. Which is
It
nice.
could. I think fullbacks are probably the best options. But yes.
Weirdly, I haven't thought hard about my trade
Desi and I will give ours, what we are doing, and then we'll come back to
Yeah,
you.
well,
So,
it'll only take me 30 seconds. There you
Desi, you're thinking Ches.
Yeah, I'm flexing out, like Spice said, to Drinkwater. I mean, the smart play is to bring in a fullback. Kinney or Edwards, I think, are 2 really good targets. But yeah, I'm bringing in Cherry, send him out. I'll put the VC on him, and I'll probably captain Cleary. I don't see anyone better than him this week.
So I'll throw it at you, Desi. You're already a Turbo owner.
Mm-hmm.
If you could only have one of Turbo or Edwards this week, who would it be?
Ooh.
It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Turbo's looked really good. They're going to him a lot. So, I mean, like I said, he could have gone 180 into 150 the last 2 games. But yeah, he's scoring well enough that I think he just edges Edwards.
Yep.
Edwards might have a lot of points stolen off him by Cleary this week.
For myself, I'm looking at one of those 2 players, hence why I asked the question. Turbo or Edwards. I think if the Broncos win and the Warriors come back to 4, I'll go Turbo. Depending what team they sit out, if they do sit there and they rest 1 or 2 players that might have niggles, that'll change a little bit. If the Warriors are playing for top 4, I think I'll go with Dylan Edwards, that 3 p.m. game on the Saturday, and opt for him. In terms of captains, I think it'd be a C on Nathan Cleary. And if I end up with Tom Trbojevic, and this also probably sways into my options as well, because I'm actually running without a hooker this week, so I get the free VC loop. It might sort of lean me towards Tom Trbojevic because I can VC him, whereas I can't obviously do Cleary and Dylan Edwards. So we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, potentially a Turbo into Cleary, but I'm also very keen, could still be Dylan Edwards pending results. Spy your answer to the question first.
Dylan Edwards at 38% ownership up top there. Hard to go past. I like him. Like him a lot this week.
What's Turbo?
Tommy Boy is at, give me about 12 seconds here. He's at
Matty the Waterboy.
37. They're the same.
There you go.
Woo-hoo-hoo. I prefer Edwards.
I think I prefer Edwards too, but as I said, I am looking at those captaincy options and what I can and can't do, and the ability to go one of them into Cleary. I also don't mind Teddy's VC, to be fair, against the Bunnies.
Yeah, so before we get to Matty, I really like Teddy VC into Cleary. But I wouldn't mind a swing at Lomax on Sunday, Arvo. So we'll just have a little play around with that. Maybe I'll back the Bunnies in for a really big display.
That's cool.
To, keep them at bay a little bit and then go Cleary into Lomax because I'm similar. I've got Starling out, but I do have 17 good players this weekend as it stands.
17.
So I get a free loop, but yeah, I've still got a couple of Warriors there, so I'll need a few things to go there.
Aaron Clark's the one where hasn't missed many minutes this season. I'm sitting there going, if they can't make the forward, do they give him a spell?
It's very concerning.
He didn't play many minutes last week. He played like 45 minutes last week.
I've got Chanel Harris to wear as well. They could be like, have a rest, mate.
give tomorrow, right? Matty,
Not good.
any trades?
Yes, I've got one trade. I've been holding on to this trade for a while. I'm going to get rid of Drinkwater, and I've got a bit of cash in the bank too. So I pretty much got a free throw at anyone I want. I think I'm just going to go Dylan Edwards. It's the obvious option.
It looks the good
I
stuff.
have a story as well, actually. I got going to the zoo this Saturday with the fam. Young fella's getting an award, actually, Charlie, which is cool.
At the zoo?
I'm not going into why. It's a pretty long story, but he is. But the last time I was at the zoo with him was a couple of years ago on a Saturday or Sunday. Penrith played St George in the early game, and I watched the first half driving home on the phone. And it was Cleary's return match from a Hemi or something. So I didn't have him yet. Let's get a look at Cleary, and he scored about 130 in the first 12 minutes. And it was the week I had Dane Laurie at fullback last year.
Yes.
And he was on 50 after like 10 minutes. Then he got concussed.
Yeah.
And I was so livid. And then Cleary went mental. So that's my zoo story. But the point is, the same thing's happening this Saturday. So I'm like, let's jump aboard and get across the Penrith action this time.
Yeah, you pick Charlie up from the zoo 3 days later. Oh, dear. All righty, guys. Fantasy Rugby League betting is here thanks to our mates at BetBuzz. Every position, 5 players per position, points for tackle bus, offloads, and all the rest. If you like NRL Supercoach or NRL Fantasy, you'll be in your element. You can also multi them up. 3 weeks on the trot, we found winners, actually. Ronnie Mulatalo, he's delivered for us twice. Absolutely smoked the wing position on the weekend. To check them out and follow along with our bets, head to the link in the show description or across our social channels later on in the week. We're running hot. Find BetBuzz in the App Store. What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. All right, boys, what we learned from NRL Supercoach 2026. We normally do this as a standalone show along with some awards later on in the year after the season. But because we have Supercoach finals, as I said, we will be continuing throughout September and into early October. We'll do an award show at the very end of the season. We've got Clementine Cassidy in for that one. Clem is running you down as well, Spy. There are a few nerves there because
She was.
you were a mile ahead of her and you were very, rightly so, bullish. She is on one of the great heaters. She had like 6 of the top 7 scorers on the weekend.
Yeah.
Nearly
1,700.
Yeah.
She, so when we first talking about that when she was on last time, I was about 1,000 ahead of her. And I wasn't even trying to be a little shit. I'm like, you can't catch me.
It just
Clem.
can't
It's just not going to happen. She came over Sunday Arvo just before my captain had played, Jaden Campbell, and had Tino. And what we do was having a beer or whatever, and she goes, hey, I'm 150 points off you in the live points. I'm like, what? And I panicked. I was like, this is not good. Thankfully, Jaden got 90 as skipper, so I'm back to 300 clear. So it would take a miracle, but the way it's going, I'm not so bullish.
Oh, big weekend incoming for plenty of little battles. What we learned in 2025. Desi, I'll start with you, mate. What worked, what didn't?
Not much worked.
You didn't go that bloody bad, far out.
Yeah, I know, but I have higher standards than coming out. I mean, I feel like I could make the top 1,000. I should be making the top 1,000 every year.
Yep.
I feel like there's nothing worse than meandering at 3 to 4K because you're like,
nothing worse.
What could be?
Yeah.
I'm going fine, but
You
what
also
could be?
probably sit there. It's an awkward rank where you go, I haven't done that much wrong, but something needs to change for a top 1,000 finish. It's a weird one, isn't it?
I just didn't get my captains right. That was a big thing. I mean, I always bang on about like timing of trades as well. I mistimed a lot of trades, but the main one for me this year was just I didn't get the players right at the right time. I didn't get the players at all. Didn't have Iro for the first 10 weeks or so, and then I didn't have Herbie. They were the two main guys that I missed. You missed Herbie as well. You would be probably top 100 if you owned him through that period.
Thanks, Desi.
Probably top 10.
Probably top 10, yeah, who knows. It just felt like it was 1,000 points gone missing off just two players, and it was like centre wings don't traditionally score as well as those two guys scored this year. They were averaging 80, which is 80 plus, which is just unheard of for centre wing. So the game kind of changed around that. But yeah, I just, it's almost like I didn't buy them because I wanted to go against the grain. Because going against the grain normally works for me in this game. But this year, it just didn't work. Just didn't work at all. You had to get them. And I just refused to pay up, and I refused to sort of get them on the basis that everyone else owns them. So why would I get them now? But it just cost me
less
more and more
stubborn
points.
is what
I need to put away the ego.
But like you said, Jez, like you've had a
just
number
worry.
of good years on the trot, and if you had, again, it's not an awful year by any means with 3-4K or whatever. It's still a very respectable finish. Is it enough for you to change your attitude around that going into next year, that sort of stubbornness around, all right, a CT dub, going big and scoring every week, they have to stop scoring, the scores have to drop. Will things change, or will you back yourself in next year with what you've done?
It's a tough one. I think Herbie's, Iro, I think you could probably get around it. I don't think he'll go on that sort of try-scoring run ever again. But Herbie, he's just a different beast.
Yeah.
And I think he's the first guy I'm going to select next year.
Same.
And I'm just not going to take him out of my team no matter what. I'm going to get over the stubbornness. Yeah.
Herbie's a different beast, and we've learned that he probably is the exception to the centre rule moving forward in the high price CT dubs to start. But Isaiah Katoa helps that, right? Like the quality of ball that he gives Herbie doesn't average this in any other team in the NRL because of what Isaiah Katoa does for him. Yep. I'll go to you, Spy, then we'll come back to Desi. What about yourself, Spy? What were your major takes?
I've broken it into the good, the bad, and next year. We'll start with the good. So I said at the start of the year I wanted to forget break evens. I just got too caught up last year in finding that cash rising and all that rubbish. I just threw it out the window. I didn't do it in the first month though. So in the first month, I think I got Arthur's and two others, and some blokes are going to make that real fast cash, but could also score well, and then just momentum off the back of that seemed to work really well. But in terms of general decisions, if one of the players I liked had a break even of 170, I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, he'll catch it up. I'm not going to sell him next week. I'll just trust him because I've got him if I liked him. And on the flip side, if someone had a break even of 112 and I was like, I really like him this weekend, just get him in. I'm happy just to do it. Sometimes you cop a price loss, but as we know, Desi, points win Supercoach, one of your sayings, and it's like, your other saying is, and I'll give you this one, Desi, you said you can always catch up money. Like, you'll find ways to make money throughout the year, and it's true. Like, if you're worried about cash, opportunities will present, and by not using those trades, chasing money, you'll be able to use a trade or two at some point in the coming 4 or 6 weeks, and you can just go, all right, here's my money, I just caught up, bang, bang.
Well, basically, right, we have the conversation around about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 every season, depending how the cash gen's gone early on, of when that focus shifts from cash gen purely to points. And if you sit there and go, all right, I haven't gone as hard on cash early, I've missed a bit, maybe that changes and you go around 10, 11, 12, 13, you chase some of the bigger cash geners when others have gone to points.
Yeah, or it might just be a bloke randomly in round 9 who scores 150 on the wing and they're worth 300k, and I'll just bring him in for 2 weeks, make 300k, and they've got it back. Like, there are opportunities that will present. And my other one I quite liked this year, this was under the good, was especially in the first probably 8 to 10 weeks or so, there was a lot of chances to VC a high upside skipper. If they didn't go well, you could plug in a Payne Haas or a Terrell May. I quite liked that philosophy. Whereas some weekends there were 2 standout high upside skippers that you could chase, fullbacks, halfbacks, whatever it may be. But I quite like that fullback with the flex and loop options and the player dropping out where you can just go, all right, let's just have a free crack at a massive score here. And if it doesn't come off, I'll plug Haas in for his 85. seemed to work pretty well because, you hate getting that skipper of like a 20 or 30 and it really sets you back. So, just kept momentum going.
That's one that I learnt this year based on, pardon me, the year of the front row forward. We know it was. Like, there are unbelievable some of the front rows in the game this year. Even in prior years, though, before front rows really exploded, and maybe it was a gun back row or a Harry Grant or whoever it might be, but early on in the season, captaining forwards, and this year more than ever, before there's the blowout score lines and attacks are clunky and teams aren't injury decimated, the points don't flow as much, just those first 6 to 8 weeks. And look, maybe there's a regression for front rows next year, but I don't see why a lot of them will slow down anytime soon, namely Payne Haas. Next year in the early stages, before the gun fullbacks and the Nathan Cleary and Nico Hines start putting on these 150s, I just think if you have like Payne Haas and Terrell May or whoever those best front rows might be, probably those two, just skip it. Outside of the obvious weeks where one of the gun fullbacks or halfbacks have like a particularly good matchup, just stick it on, probably to your point, Spy, in the high upside VC into Payne Haas or Terrell May for the first 6 to 8 weeks until teams start to break open a bit, fatigue starts to set in as the season goes on.
Especially
it's the smartest play.
Especially with Haas now having 130s in him.
Yes.
He's also got some upside now, so you get the best of both worlds. Got a few other lessons. Well, let's go back to Desi before we get to that. Anything else? Or yeah?
I mean, the flex is the last thing to talk about. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good addition to the game. I probably didn't get it quite right, I would say. I was kind of just of the opinion that triple gun fullback was going to be the play for the entire season, which it was for most of it, we would say, especially at the end here and probably at the start as well. It was pretty good. But through that middle period, like probably just before the buys and all the way through the buys, I think you were better off having someone like Farnworth there or another centre wing or even another halfback. I was kind of just refusing to do it. I was just of the opinion that triple gun fullback was the way to go. It's the highest scoring position in Supercoach. We all know it. But it just didn't seem to work out through that bye period.
I think what happened was two things: injuries and naturally origin selections. So origin selections, like you look at the ones off the top of the melon, but Kalen Ponga was injured through that period and underperforming. Reece Walsh was injured. Ryan Pappenhausen was injured. Tom Trebojevic had come back but was playing underdone and played centre and all sorts of things. Dylan Edwards was in origin camp. Latrell Mitchell was injured.
Crazy fullback.
Yes. I think you're on the money, Desi.
I don't think it'll be the norm.
No, me either.
I think you're probably on the money. But again, don't be stubborn. Stay open to, well, at the moment, maybe it is a Herbie. Just bring Herbie in or whatever it may be. So,
just like, I mean, the main thing is just don't discount other positions if someone like Herbie is just
keep the
absolutely
options
fragging
open.
off.
Yeah, one of my ones for a throw back to you, Spy, it was more probably reinforced, and I'm just very obviously relieved that I had a good year this year, and I had such a poor year last year, and it was the first year that I'd really sort of team had fallen to bits, and I was like, what's going on? It gave me the opportunity to reassess things entirely. So having had a good this year, I've learned from mistakes of last year. So it's reinforced a few things, and the first one, the most obvious one that you know I'm going to say, but it's depth and trades in the bank at the end of the season at King. You just said, Spy, you could have had Reece Walsh instead of Terrell May.
Royce Hunt.
And that's what it allows us to do. I was able to go
220 points, that is, by the way, because everyone VC'd or C'd Walsh. 220 points in one trade.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And not even that, like in recent weeks when people have been decimated with numbers, and I've been sitting here with sit v start decisions, and last year, for the first time in as long as I can remember, because there wasn't a lot of carnage later on in the season with restings and injuries and all these sorts of things, depth and trades wasn't important. You could get away with it. And I just backfired for me completely, along with other things. But again, it reinforced this year that it is so important having depth. And I think it'll be a wake-up call for a lot of people moving into next year, just to remember that last year, I think, was a one-off. And that's what's allowed me to have this. I was thereabouts late, but make these big moves later on in the season. Get Reece Walsh last week, to be able to go Drinkwater on the bye this week too. Hopefully Dylan Edwards can do well, or Tom Trebojevic, or whoever it might be. But I really just think last year was one of the big ones. And just the other one, it sort of ties into the lesson that I learnt from last year, and I went a bit too hard during the bye period with trades and trying to get numbers on deck. I made up no ground. I went into it this year and just said, it's not the be-all and end-all. Aim for your 13 or so, but aim for gun trades or people who are going to make cash, not the blower and plotters. So I forgot about that. It also allowed me to save a few trades in that period for this back end of the year. So that was my biggest take, just being reassured of that.
Agree on that one throughout the buys. No plotters. Hashtag no plotters. The bad, or the lessons for me. Really interesting one, boys. So I felt like I played it as nearly as well as I could have up until the last couple of weeks. But what actually changed wasn't my tactics or philosophy on anything. It was my head-to-head grand final. I was trying to make it. So it was about, for context, I think the winner might have taken out $800 or $900. Well, that's, reasonable bloody amount of money. So I had those 2 trades sitting there 2 weeks ago from today, which I had planned to keep in the bank for the final 2 rounds, which would have been Walsh and Edwards, I'm telling you right now. So that's huge. But I tried to win my head-to-head prelim to get in the grand final, which I don't regret because it made sense at the time, but it just shows how devastating that can be because I lost it in the end. So I'll have a decision to make next year if I'm in a similar scenario. Do I do it again, or do I just say, if I win my head-to-head, whatever, but I want to go overall? I think the answer to that probably lies in what my rank is. If I'm sitting
How big your
around
cashy
that
is.
but I mean, if I'm 400-500th in overall,
Yeah.
I might just say, if I win my cashy, great, but I want to finish as high as I can. But if I'm sitting 3 to 5K, I might go, oh, well, let's go all in on the cashy then. So I don't regret it because I really wanted to try and win that cash league. Needed some magic round moolah for May next year. But it's backfired spectacularly because I would have had 2 trades up the sleeve.
Yeah.
One for last week, one for this. So I can tell you right now, I would have been sitting about 700-800 with 1 trade in the bank right now. But that's okay. Pretty happy with how I did things. And I've never copped an injury crisis like I did from rounds 19 to about 25. It was unbelievable. And the key people I had into finally Harry and Dewey when I got those guys in, like, it's rare it'll ever be that bad on my side, but I'm always conscious it can happen. So I'm going to try to play it very similar to this year, but I think I'm just going to scrap head-to-head unless my rank's not that good and I can just have a free swing at it late. Outside of that, spoke to Maxie Bryden about this a little bit, something he's been talking to me a bit about, but just I took a couple of blokes in the latter rounds whose role had the potential to change. One was Connor Watson, starting hooker, but we know he can play 80 at hooker, 55 at hooker, 60 then 20 at lock, which was what I was hoping he was going to do, and then he ended up playing his 55 minutes at hooker, which is horrible, to be honest. And Dane Gagai was at fullback, but obviously late in the year, they're giving a young guy a chance. They're not going that well. Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. So I'll just be conscious next year. If I've got 6 trades left, I want guys solidified in that spot. Not so much maybe guys who could lose that role.
I see what you're saying there for sure, Spy, but in your defence, easy in hindsight. Like, I remember the week where everyone was going to Grant or a Watson. Watson looked a damn good thing at that time, and he ended up out of nowhere being a 55-minute forward playing off the bench. Like, that came out of nowhere. The Gagai thing, sure, but even Gagai, the back of the mind, they're, all right, if Gagai ends up back at centre, he's still like a 60 to 65, if not more, averaging centre. He just hasn't scored well. Like the Knights have gone to mud.
That's it. They have.
Yeah.
And in terms of next year, I'll tie in a lesson into this one, but my number one will be I've got to get past Desi this year still. Things could hit the fan and you could go in front of me and I would be filthy.
Ches 180 to finish.
But if
We've seen it.
If I can just
Would be nice.
make sure I get past you, I think I might be one off you in our head-to-head if I win this year since I've met you. So I'll be looking to square that up, square the ledger. I'll be looking to get a good hooker in and leaving it. We'll save it for finals chat, but my hooking story over the last 2 years is all time. I actually forgot about a couple that happened. That's the real curse, the hooking crisis.
I have made sweet bugger all moves in hooker the last 2 years. It was one of the few things I did right last year. And this year, I think I've had Sandon Smith since round 1. Not that he's played the whole time, but yeah, it's just, hasn't it become a bludger of a position?
Oh, shocker. But next year we've got Harry coming off an average of about 63 with that last low score, and Brayley didn't start the year as well, so could just plug one or both of them in and just leave them, which would be nice.
Plug one, have him for the season.
I'd say
Blake
so.
Brayley, with this newfound realisation that he can run the ball,
Fun to own, I reckon.
probably won't play Origin. Well, he'll be in talks, but like Grant, I'll have Origin. Brayley, touch wood, but the most durable. Like I think he's the most durable player in the NRL at the moment.
Plug him in.
Just
and
plug him for the
just
season.
Leave him.
Yeah.
Start Garrick and just hold and less hurt. And my final one is just be ready to go on high upside guys with big captaincy numbers. So it happened with Dylan Edwards that Friday night, that fateful Friday about 6 weeks ago, where I didn't properly check into a kickoff. I'm like, shit, he's like 40% captained. He's got the decimated bunnies. He scored 180, and that's what started my free fall. Because that was when I was 180th trying to get in the top 100. And I mean, I was out of trades, but last weekend you could have gone, oh, do we go against Walsh? But he was high ownership captaincy. Like, they're the ones you go, this could just wreck me. So just be ready to swoop on those, even if it wasn't necessarily in your plans. Just a bit of risk mitigation there. That's where I'm at, boys.
Very good, Spy. Good
Very
debrief. Matty the Waterboy, anything to add there?
Yeah, if Turbo's 500k, snap him up. Don't even think about it.
Centre wing duel.
Oh, seriously, that's one of the biggest W's of my year this year. Having Turbo the last 2 months has been amazing, and a lot of people, like, I don't know how many people didn't have him, but like I think a lot of people didn't pick him up when he was so cheap. I know he had a couple of dud weeks, but bloody Tom Trbojevic. So
The same story every year, Matty. It finishes with bloody Tom Trbojevic.
exactly right.
No one ever wins with Tommy Turbo.
We all take a trade into the round one, and that's your Tommy Turbo injury trade, but you start with him.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
All right, guys, that will do us for the show. Kind of for the season. As I said, we're hoping that a lot of people will go through and have a bit of a crack at Supercoach finals, a bit of a different format, more week to week rather than across the duration of it. So a bit of fun to be had there. We'll be back with our podcast throughout the final series. As I said, some fun things to come at SC Playbook in the back end of the NRL season, in the early off season as well, along with, of course, the announcements of Supercoach, NFL, EPL and all that. Spite, thank you very much, mate.
Cheers, boys. Yeah, looking forward to finals footy, and I think for final Supercoach, I might make a rule that I can't captain, or whatever the triple captain thing is. I'm only going to captain guys from teams I want to win. It's going to be very, very fun.
I think we had a bit of fun with it as well.
I think we got to go a
I'm
little
with
bit
you.
exhibition mode. Could finish first, could finish last, but it could be.
It'll
bloody
be
good.
easy to pick Cleary and Teddy if he's there and these obvious guys, but let's have a bit of fun.
Yeah, Chanel Harris Tavita, triple captain.
Yeah. Desi, thank you, mate.
Yeah, cheers, boys. Cheers for the year, and I guess good luck to everyone still fighting out for the overall title.
Yes.
Hopefully, a SC Playbook subby can take it out.
That would be
Hopefully,
good.
mate.
And Nicky Frost in 6 or 7 now didn't own Walsh.
Shit.
Went against him as a little bit. He did have 2 trades up the sleeve. I was asking him. He took a punt to try and win it all. You know, if Walsh goes down earlier, has a bludger
everyone had him.
into Melbourne, which I like. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what got him where he is. Fortunately, didn't pay off, but he's still not that far off. Maybe a top 3 finish or something. So,
Well,
on
it's
your Frosty.
interesting because everyone ahead of him will have Walsh. If Melbourne, if you can have
A 20 or something.
if you can have the Reece Walsh 20 and
Yep.
he's got one of the other flying fullbacks.
Flip it back. You never know. So, we'll see where he lands, eh?
Yeah, so guys, hopefully you're tuning in throughout the finals time as well for the new Supercoach finals game. But if you haven't, thank you once again for all the support of SC Playbook this season. Of course, the subscribers, the listeners, the article readers, the social media likers and engagers, and everyone who's been a part of the community this season. So we'll be back next week. We'll talk to you then. But if not, thanks for the season.